So Hare Krishna, dear devotees, is everybody able to see the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Krishna Kapoor Prabhuji, I'm sorry, actually last few days back, I think you asked me about this gravity in thought and purity in thought, na Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. I want to give you the exact meaning of those two, Prabhuji. Like austerity of the mind, it is related to austerity of the mind. So gravity in thought means what? Means that seriousness. Gravity means that seriousness in thought. Like a person who does not think foolishly or who does not jump from one idea to another. He thinks properly before speaking. That is gravity. Gravity means that seriousness. So he keeps the mind steady. Okay. So generally you see the mind is naturally it is restless. It runs here and there. So gravity means what? Bringing that mind under control and making it steady. Okay. So, so actually a grave mind, it thinks, a steady mind, it thinks like what is my duty, what pleases the Lord, like what is permanent, what is spiritual maturity. So gravity basically means that seriousness in thought. Okay, that is about gravity, Prabhuji. And purity in thought means like your purity means what? It is clean thinking. Means no envy, no unnecessary hatred. Like no duplicity or no politics, right? And it's like pure thinking means what? Seeing others as souls, wishing good for all. Okay, so when thoughts are pure, speech becomes pure. Okay, when speech is pure, what happens? Your actions also become pure. So everything begins from the mind. So this is austerity of the mind. Okay, Prabhuji? Is it clear
Yes,
now?
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Okay, so today let's start from 30, chapter 18, 30. And before we start the class, please let us take the blessings of the beautiful deities of ISKCON Mangaluru. Sri Radha Govinda ji, Sri Radha Govinda ji ki jai. Okay. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha yaveti buddhihi sa partha satviki. Performing actions as per the directions of the scriptures is called pravritti. Actions not so directed are not to be performed. Such a person gets entangled in the actions and reactions of work. One who discriminates this by intelligence is situated in the mode of goodness. So earlier, in the earlier chapter, we discussed, right? So those who do the duties following the directions of the scriptures, they are on the right path. Pravritti means right path. So those who follow the directions of the scriptures, right? So they don't do actions against the scriptures, and they don't get entangled in the reactions of the work, because they don't do any work for their gratification. They do it to please Krishna. Okay, so they give the results to Krishna. They're not attached to the results of work. Okay, so such people or whose intelligence is like that, they are in the mode of goodness. Okay, always we depend on the scriptures to do any work. We don't whimsically think on our own. On our own intelligence, we don't base our whatever we want to do. Like, it should always be under the guidance of the Guru and the scriptures. 18.31 Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha akaryam eva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhihi sa partha rajasi. Lord tells Arjuna not being able to distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. Okay, so here, why, I mean, like Krishna is telling Arjuna, the people who are in the mode of passion, they're not able to distinguish between dharma and adharma, and what should be done or what should not be done. Why, the main reason is why they are not able to distinguish is because they have so many desires, they're so ambitious, and there's so much attached, they're so attached, right? And in that I mean, like when they try to fulfill all those desires, they sometimes don't know what is right or wrong, because see, if for example, if anybody is coming in their path, he's ready to even kill them, but actually killing is actually a wrong process. But for him, if somebody is coming in his path and obstructing him, so when he kills somebody, he thinks that that is right, but actually it is wrong. So he is actually not able to distinguish between what is right and wrong, because he wants his desire to be fulfilled. So he thinks something is right just because it benefits him. So that's why he gets confused between what is duty and what is non-duty. Okay, let's go to 32. Adharmam dharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitamscha buddhihi sa partha tamasi. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Understanding irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion. Understanding a great soul to be a common man and a common man as a great soul. So they think all these great acharyas are like normal people and they don't consider them as great. And they think that common people are great people. Okay, so they are like people in the mode of ignorance. And whatever the world thinks is right, they think that is wrong. Whatever they think is wrong, I mean, everything, it's just quite the opposite, they think. So thinking truth to be untruth and untruth to be truth. Intelligence working the opposite of the way it should be. So everything works in the opposite way for them. Always working hard in the wrong direction is in the mode of ignorance. Okay. Persons in the mode of ignorance do things which should be shunned. So which not be done, they do such things only. They accept religions which are not actually religions and reject actual religion. So what they have to actually accept, they don't accept. That particular dharma, they don't accept. What should not be accepted, they accept it as dharma. Underestimate a great soul to be a commoner and escalate a commoner to be a great soul. Okay, they think all the acharyas to be common people, and they think the common people who are there on the roads, they think them as gurus who cheat, who are the cheating. They take the fake gurus as the real great personalities. Okay, misunderstand truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. So they don't. This misconception is they don't think they are the soul. They think they are the body. Always tread the wrong path. So they're always into intoxication, drugs. So they're always on the wrong path. As their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance. Because they're in the mode of ignorance, they do all these things. Okay, so 33. Okay. Okay. धृत्यायया धार्यते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रियाः योगेन अव्यभिचारण्या धृतिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O son of Pritha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life, and senses, is determination in the mode of goodness. So here Lord tells Arjuna, one's determination should be firm, possible for one steadily fixed in Krishna consciousness through the practice of yoga. So how can one's determination be firm? Right? It can be firm only if you're fixed in, if you're practicing Krishna consciousness. That is the only way you will have strong determination. Such determination controls one's activities of the mind, life, and senses. So, because of this, you're practicing Krishna consciousness, you're strong in your mind, life, and your senses. Because your senses are focused on seeing Krishna, doing devotional service, your whole life is dedicated to Krishna. In your mind, also, you're thinking about Krishna, right? So everything is like is steady. I mean, like you have strong determination because your faith is fixed on something good. Okay, so it is in the mode of goodness. Avyabhicharinya means that Krishna conscious people are always focused on their goal. Nothing can distract them. Okay, Avyabhicharinya means what? Krishna conscious people, they always, their goal is one. I mean, they are not into sense gratification. Their only goal is to satisfy Krishna. So nothing can distract them. That is why we call them, they are firm in determination. They're strong in the determination because they are practicing Krishna consciousness. So nothing can distract them because of that, because of their strong determination. 18.34 Yaya tu dharma kamarthan dhritya dharyate arjuna prasangena falakangshi dhritihi sa partha rajasi. But that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna. So how is the determination of the people in the mode of passion? They are attached to, they strongly attached to fruitive results, meaning whatever they work hard for, they want the results for themselves. Okay, they want dharma, artha, kama for themselves. Dharma means what? Religion. Right? Dharma, artha means economic development. They want money. Kama means what? Sense gratification, lust. Okay, so they want everything for themselves. So their determination is strong in such cases. Okay, such people are said to be in the mode of passion. So their determination is mostly in dharma, artha, kama. They want the results. Whatever work they're doing, they want the results for themselves. 35. Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madam evacha navimunchati durmedha dhritihi sapartha tamasi. And that determination which can't go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination, O son of Pritha, is in the mode of darkness. So here they're talking about people in the mode of ignorance. How is their determination? So how is their determination? Since they don't go beyond what? Dreaming. So here, what does dreaming mean? Dreaming means not normal dreaming at night. So dreaming here means oversleeping. People in the mode of ignorance, they oversleep. Okay, and they're daydreaming about material enjoyment. Okay, they're fantasizing about enjoying the world. Okay, so that is dreaming here. They sleep too much. They're always daydreaming about material enjoyment, how to enjoy, how to. They want to fantasize the world. They want to control and they want to enjoy the world. Okay, so that is dreaming. So that is what. It's not like sleeping at night and dreaming about. Not like that. Okay. So they're always thinking, they're too much into sleeping, they're daydreaming about material enjoyment, and they're fantasizing about controlling or enjoying the world. So that is dreaming mean. And why fearful they are? They're fearful because of attachment to the body, because they think they are the body, right? They're so much attached to the body, they're so much attached to their possessions, they're so much attached to the status. So they think, oh, what will happen to all these if I die? So that is the fear they have. oh, I'll be losing my family, I'll be losing my wealth, I'll be losing my money, my business, everything. So that is the fear they have. And what is the lamentation and moroseness that they have? Okay, so they are constantly brooding over the past. They're always thinking about their past. Okay, they pity themselves. Oh, I should have done this. Why did I do this? So instead of just learning and moving forward, the mind keeps them in darkness and they refuse to stand up. So they're always sitting in the darkness and they're just thinking, they're just brooding. Oh, why did I do this? I should have done like this, like this. They're just thinking, but they don't learn from their mistakes and they don't think of moving forward. Okay. So, if someone's life, mind, and senses are absorbed in lower tendencies, because there's so much involved in all these material tendencies, so they are called the lower tendencies. So, that is determination and ignorance. So, there's so much, their life, mind, and senses are absorbed in material propensities. Okay, so that is determination and ignorance. Dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Okay. So dreaming is a natural phenomenon occurring in all the three modes. But the person in the mode of ignorance stops only at dreaming, not venturing beyond. He oversleeps as he cannot visualize plans for realizing his dream. So here he just sleeps. He does not. I mean, like in his dream, maybe in his dream he thinks that I should do this. I want to do this, but he does not implement his dreams. He is engaged in enjoying material objects with pride, always dreams of lording over the material world. So he just wants to enjoy the world. He wants to do sense gratification. With his life, mind, and senses so engaged, his determination is in the mode of ignorance. Okay. "36. Sukham tu idanim trividam शृणु मे भरतर्षभ अभ्यासाद् रमते यत्र दुःखान्तं च निगच्छति." O best of the Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. So now Krishna is explaining to Arjuna the three kinds of happiness, that is happiness in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So the propensity of a conditioned soul is to repeatedly enjoy material happiness. See, that is why the soul has come here, right? It wants to enjoy material happiness. And that is called chewing of the chewed. So what is this chewing of the chewed means? See, for example, imagine you're chewing sugarcane. Okay, the first time you chew, the sugarcane is full of juice when you chew it. And it's full of juice and it is sweet. So you chew it, and once there is no juice, you throw that sugar cane. I mean, the fiber or whatever, the dry fiber is there, you throw it away. Okay, but if someone again, the same thing if he takes and if he starts chewing it again, right? If someone chews that same dry fiber again, will there be any sweetness? Will there be any juice? No, right? So material happiness is like that. Okay, so here in the material world also, we are chasing the same pleasures again and again, expecting permanent happiness. But the enjoyment is temporary, limited. See, for example, I'll give you an example now. If I eat a gulab jamun, like you think that I can eat 50. Initially, when you have the temptation to eat, you think that I will get so much happiness, permanent happiness if I eat gulab jamun. But the moment you have 4, 5, maximum 10, you will not even feel like looking at it. So that happiness is temporary. It is not permanent. Right? The first gulab jamun that you have, that is the maximum highest happiness that you get. But after that, the next and the next and next and next, the happiness keeps reducing until you come to a stage where you don't even want to look at it. Okay, that is material happiness. Okay, the enjoyment is, we think that the enjoyment we get when we are eating that gulab jamun initially, we think, oh, that is permanent happiness. That is the highest happiness we think. But once we start eating, it reduces. That we understand that enjoyment is temporary and limited. Okay, but the mind, why is it that again, see, now you eat the gulab jamun, but again after 2 days, again you will feel like having it again. Right, the same gulab jamun today you will feel like having. Again after 2 days you will feel like having. Why? Because the mind says, okay, maybe this time the happiness I will get, maybe it will be permanent. The mind keeps us in illusion, saying that, okay, maybe this time I will get full happiness. Maybe last time I didn't get full happiness, but this time I will get full happiness. Okay, let me try again. But again, same thing happens. But the happiness goes away quickly. So again and again and again and again, we keep trying again and again, doing the same thing again and again, even though it does not truly satisfy us. Even though we know that happiness is temporary, we keep on trying. Like it's like chewing the chewed. You know there's no happiness, it is temporary happiness. Okay, so this chewing the chewed means repeating the same enjoyment, expecting a new result. But what do you get? The same temporary feeling every time. Okay, the temporary happiness you will get, but not permanent, lasting happiness. Okay, so that is called chewing the chewed. By chance, if he associates with a great soul, he gets relieved from material entanglement. So the only way how he can come out of this material entanglement is if he associates with a pure devotee. Okay, and listening to him, he gives us the knowledge how we can come out of this material entanglement. Then we start practicing devotional service, and then we can get the so-called happiness. So awakened in Krishna consciousness, he is plugged out from the repetitive so-called happiness. Yeah. See, if he comes into Krishna consciousness, then he will be away from this temporary happiness, temporary material happiness. Okay, so the so-called happiness that we are thinking in this material world, that is just temporary. But the real happiness is when you start practicing Krishna consciousness, when you get connected to Krishna, that is the real permanent happiness.
Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji?
Mataji, so the happiness, the temporary happiness which you stated above, it occurs in happiness which is in the mode of passion and happiness in the
No,
mode
no.
of ignorance.
No. I'm just discussing about happiness. How the generally happiness is in the material world. We think that the happiness in the material world is permanent. It is so nice, we think. But the happiness actually we get is temporary. Now we saw through the example of the gulab jamun we saw, right? It's always temporary. How many ever times we try, we think that, oh, this time I will get permanent happiness, we think. But it is always temporary. It is limited. See, at a certain point, we can't eat more than that gulab jamun, right? At a point. So it is, the happiness is temporary. So what we are trying to say in this shloka is happiness in this material world is temporary. But if you want permanent happiness, start practicing Krishna consciousness. Get connected with Krishna. So any happiness that you take in the material world, we are trying to say, you try many times, thinking that the next time the result will be permanent happiness, but never it will be permanent. It will always be temporary. So that's what we are telling. If you want permanent happiness, the only thing is, if you do start practicing Krishna consciousness, then with that you will get permanent happiness. Okay, Prabhuji? Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
We are just describing. Now we'll start. Like, what is mode of happiness and the mode of goodness? Now we'll start. 18.37 Yattad agre visham iva pariname amrutopamam tatsukam satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. So what is that? See, in the mode of goodness, first it will be like poison for us, but at the end it is just like nectar. See, it's like for us understand better. See, for a small child, when he's small, he feels like playing, and studying feels like poison for him. But if the mother makes him sit and study, at the end, what will he get? Nectar, right? Once he studies, he finishes 10th, nice education he completes, he gets a nice degree or a PhD, and then he gets a nice job. That is like nectar for him, right? So, like that, that is in the mode of goodness. So, in the pursuit of self, here they're saying, Prabhupada is saying, in the pursuit of self realization, one has to follow many rules and regulations to control the mind and the senses and to concentrate the mind on the self. All these procedures are very difficult, bitter like poison. But if one is successful in following the rules and regulations and comes to the transcendental position, he begins to drink real nectar and he enjoys life. See, when we are practicing spirituality, we are practicing self realization. Initially, whatever we are following, we are following many rules and regulations. We do Ekadasi, we have to get up in the Brahma Muhurta, and then we have to attend Mangalarti, we have to do our chanting in the Brahma Muhurta. All these are like and what fasting we have to do on Acharya's special appearance and disappearance days, right? And we don't eat onion garlic, we don't drink tea, coffee. So many things are there, right? So many rules and regulations are there. So all these feel like poison for us in the beginning, right? This chanting or reading, hearing, we feel like instead of chanting and reading, we feel like seeing some TV program or some movie, or we feel like going and enjoying with the friends. So doing all this austerity, doing all these rules and regulations, it feels like poison for us in the beginning. But if we continue to do that, in the end, what do we get? We get self-realization. We go back to Krishna. So that is like nectar. So the happiness in the mode of goodness is, initially it is like poison. I mean, like we have to struggle, but in the end it is nectar. So the result that we get is we go back to Krishna. Okay, so that is happiness in the mode of goodness. So 18.38. Vishayendriya samyogad yattat agre amrutopamam pariname visham iva tat sukham rajasam smritam. So now they're telling a happiness in the mode of passion. That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects, which appears like nectar at first, but poison poison at the end is said to be the nature of passion. So, in the happiness, people in the mode of passion, they look for immediate sense gratification. Okay, they want. It's like first for them, it looks like nectar, but that sense, after doing that sense gratification, the result will be like poison for them. Let's see the example. See, attraction between a young man and a young woman, if mutual, is natural, sweet, and pleasant. See what happens when initially when a young man and young woman they meet and and then they get married and on progressing. And then later, obviously, it ends in fights, struggles, quarrels. So it becomes bitter as poison. So initially, it looks like nectar when attraction between a young man and a woman, right? It feels so nice, pleasant, like nectar. But when you get married, you're in a relationship, later it becomes bitter as poison. It leads to divorce, regret, and sorrow follows. So, happiness from indiscriminate involvement of senses and sense objects is largely miserable. See, when you get involved in all these senses and sense objects, that it leads to poison. Okay, so is in the mode of passion. So that's why it should be avoided. So overindulgence in sweet to please the palate may lead to diabetes, making life miserable. See this and a bit. Okay, first let's discuss this. See, overindulgence in sweet to please the palate may lead to diabetes. See, if you, I mean, like we said, right, in the mode of passion, happiness, like initially it is like nectar. So when you have a sweet, it's like so nectar, like because it is so sweet, nice, you'll eat nicely, you'll be eating. But if you eat too much of sweet, what will happen? That will be poison later. It will lead to diabetes. Okay, so if someone keeps eating too many sweets just for sense gratification, I mean, like later it may lead to diabetes. So at first it feels so nice, like nectar and enjoyable, but later it becomes suffering, right? It becomes like poison. So next, what are they saying? A bitter medicine prescribed to treat a disease relieves through curing the ailment. Okay, so on the other hand, now see, medicine may taste bitter. Okay, we may not like the taste of the medicine, but it cures the disease and makes us healthy, right? So it may be like a poison in the beginning, but in the end, it is nectar because it cures the disease. Okay, so what is the deeper meaning here? See, some things feel difficult or unpleasant at first. Okay, but later they bring the real benefit. Okay, so they may be unpleasant like that bitter medicine. It may be unpleasant, but in the end, they give real benefit, like curing the disease. Okay, so now shloka 39. Yadagre chanubande cha sukam mohanam atmanaha nidralasya pramodattam tattamasam udahritam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be in the nature of ignorance. So this is like the in earlier mode of goodness, we said it is like poison in the beginning and nectar in the end. And in the mode of passion, we said happiness is like nectar in the beginning and what poison in the end. But here, in the mode of ignorance, it is like both starting is also bad and ending is also bad. Why? Why? Because one in the mode of ignorance takes pleasure in indolence and sleep. Indolence means laziness. Is always lazy and always sleeping. Lacks discretion between how to act and how not to act. So he doesn't know what is good, what is bad. He doesn't know. He can't distinguish. He's always in illusion about everything. Okay, such a person has no happiness either in the beginning or at the end. See, such a person has no happiness either in the beginning or at the end, is miserable both in the beginning and at the end. So, what does this mean? See, if someone, these people in the mode of ignorance, they spend the whole day sleeping unnecessarily. So that's why in the beginning, there is no real joy. It's just laziness. Okay, and in the end, what they regret? Oh, I wasted so much time. And their mind becomes so dull because of so much of sleeping. So there is no growth, no satisfaction. Okay, 40. Natad asti prithviyam prithvi पृथ्व्यां वा दिवि देवेषु वा पुनः सत्वं प्रकृति जैर्मुक्तं यद् एभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः. सत्वं प्रकृति जैर्मुक्तं यद् एभिः स्यात् त्रिभिर्गुणैः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There is no being existing either here. There is no being existing either here or among the demigods in the higher planetary systems which is freed from these three modes born of material nature. So what are they saying here in this particular shloka? So nobody in all of these material planets can escape the three modes of material nature. So be it the beings on this earth planet or even the demigods, they can't escape. Whoever is there in the material planets up to Brahma, right? They can't, Brahma to the smallest ant, nobody is free from the three modes of material nature. So all have to suffer. Okay, that's what they're saying here. Krishna is saying. 18.41. Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Shudranam cha parantapa karmani pravibhaktani swabhava prabhavair gunaihi. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their natures in accordance with the material modes, O chastiser of the enemy. So Krishna, he's telling that a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and a Shudra, they are distinguished. How they are distinguished? By the qualities, not by their birth. See, but see, when you see a Brahmana, how do you identify as a Brahmana? Because he's very peaceful. He is always preaching about Krishna. So those are the qualities that Brahmana has. When you see a Kshatriya, you will see his heroism, leadership, all those things we see, right? So if a particular person has those qualities, then he is considered either a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, but not by birth. Okay, Krishna is saying that. So maybe by birth he may be born as a Brahmana, but if he has the qualities of a Vaishya, he is no longer a Brahmana. He is considered to be a Vaishya. Okay, so that's why we have to see based on guna, not by birth. Guna karma vibhagasaha. Okay.
Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, so for instance, if a person is born as a Kshatriya, but he has the qualities of a Brahmin, then will he attain his next birth according to his current qualities?
Not next birth, Prabhuji. Then in that present thing itself, he is considered a Brahmana. He should actually be considered a Brahmana. Though he is born in a family of a Kshatriya, because he has the qualities of a Brahmana, he is no longer a Kshatriya. Though he is born in a family of a Kshatriya, because he has the qualities of Brahmana, he becomes a Brahmana. Okay, in that Janma itself, he is considered. But generally, nowadays in Kali Yuga, people don't think like that, right? See, all of us, if we are born in the family of a Brahmana, they think we are Brahmana. Though we may have qualities of a Kshatriya or some other thing or whatever, they think, oh, I am a Brahmana because I am born in a family of Brahmana. They don't literally practice what is said in the Shastras. Okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So now 41 to 48, we'll see Sakama to Nishkama Karma Yoga. Sakama means what? You do the work, you expect the result for yourself. Okay, from Sakama to Nishkama. Nishkama means you do the work, but you give the results to Krishna. So how from Sakama to Nishkama Karma Yoga we'll see. 41 to 48. Okay, see, 4 kinds of ashramas based on the modes of material nature. 42. शमोदमस्तपःशौचं शान्तिर्आर्जवम् एव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानम् आस्तिक्यं ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्. So here in 42 they are telling what are the qualities of a Brahmana. Okay, peacefulness, self-control. See, when you see all these qualities automatically in one person, you should understand he's a Brahmana. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities by which the Brahmanas were. Okay, so next 18.43. Shauryam tejo dhritir dhakshyam yuddhe chapi apalayanam danam ishvara bhavascha kshatram karma swabhavajam. So now they are telling what are the qualities of a Kshatriya. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the qualities. So all these are self-explanatory. We can understand, like when we see these, so it represents a Kshatriya. Next, 44. Krishi Goraksha Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Swabhavajam. So now they are saying what are the qualities of a Vaishya and a Shudra. So Vaishya means what? He does farming, cattle raising, and business. Right? So we know that Nanda Maharaj is a Vaishya, right? So he is into cow grazing, cattle raising and all that. Okay. So farming, cattle raising, and Vaishya is one more thing. He does business, right? So business are the qualities of work for the Vaishyas. And Shudra is what? He assists all the above three. The Shudras, there is labor and service to others. Okay, 18.45. Swe swe karmani abhiratah samsiddhim labate naraha swakarma niratah siddhim yata vindati tatshrunu. By following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now please hear from me how this can be done. So now Krishna is telling, depending on your qualities, you have to do your work. So let me tell you, so if you do your work depending on your qualities, he's saying every man can be perfect. So now Krishna is telling in the next shloka how this can be done. So see, now he says in 18.46, Yataha pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings, who is all pervading, man can, in the performance of his own duty, attain perfection. So here what are they saying? See, whatever is your work, right, you do it, but you do it keeping Krishna in the center. So you do your work, but give the result to Krishna. So don't take the result for yourself. So no sense gratification for yourself, but for pleasing Krishna. Then you attain perfection. Okay, so let's see here what is. See, now we are seeing, right, in this PPT here, the Brahmana is doing his duty of preaching. So that is like devotional service. He's doing it to please Krishna. Now a Kshatriya's duty is what? He has to protect his people, protect Dharma by fighting. So that is his Seva for Krishna. So that is pleasing Krishna. And now a farmer, what does he do? He plows the land. He, grows grains. That is his duty. And now what does a Vaishya do? A cattle raising. So he is doing his duty to please Krishna. So that ways they are trying to attain perfection by pleasing Krishna. So they are doing their duties. At the same time, they are not expecting the result for themselves. They are doing it to please Krishna. As part and parcel of the Supreme, it is one's sacred duty to render service unto the Lord. See, we are all parts and parcel of Krishna. So, as we are what? What is our Swarupa? Jivera Swarupa hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. So, what is our Swarupa? We are part and parcel of Krishna, and our duty is we are eternal servants of Krishna, and our duty is to serve Krishna. Everyone should be engaged in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness. The Supreme Lord, by his external and internal energies, is all pervading. Okay, so he's present in the material world through his external and internal energies, right? He is not physically present. Krishna is not present. So the Supreme Lord must be worshipped with both his energies. Generally, the Vaishnava devotees worship the Supreme Lord with his internal energy. So we worship Yogamaya and not Mahamaya. Mahamaya means what? Durga Devi. Yogamaya means Krishna's internal energy, Radharani, right? So generally the Vaishnava devotees, they worship the Supreme Lord with his internal energy, that is Radharani. The external energy is a background. The Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion as Paramatma, is situated everywhere. He is the super soul of all demigods, all human beings, all animals, everywhere. That is recommended in this verse. Everyone should think that he is engaged in a particular type of occupation by Hrishikesha. If one serves the Supreme Lord through whatever occupation he may be engaged in, he will achieve the highest perfection. See, whatever occupation you are in, do it to please Krishna. You are a teacher, teach. But teach to please Krishna. Whatever you're doing, you're doing some business. So in the profit, you give it to Krishna, right? Whatever, I mean, just do it to please Krishna. Then you will achieve the highest perfection. Becoming fully aware of everything through working in Krishna consciousness is the perfection of life. Tesham aham samudhata. Supreme Lord himself takes charge of delivering such a devotee. Okay. 18.47. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanishtithat swabhava niyatam karma kurvan napnoti kilbisham. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Prescribed duties, according to one's nature, are never affected by sinful reactions. Okay. So here, what is Krishna saying? It is always better, whatever per our quality, per our swabhava, whatever our occupation is, it's better to do that occupation. Don't do others, even if you are perfect in the other's occupation and you're imperfect in your occupation, still you do your occupation only. You don't swap with the other occupation, because for your swabhava, this is what suits you. So you have to do this. Even though temporarily you take the other one, you will not be able to do that. Initially, you will think that is good, but that is not your swabhava. You are not in that mode. Suppose you are in the mode of goodness. See, if we ask a Brahmana, he's in the mode of goodness. For him, I'm just telling it as an example. He may think that, oh, Kshatriya is fighting with the knives and everything and all those things, and he tries to be a Kshatriya. He can never be a Kshatriya because he's in the mode of goodness. Right? If once he becomes a Kshatriya, now because he's in the mode of goodness, he's like peaceful. He has that Kshama Guna. Now, when he gets into that position of the king should be like very strong. When if he has to punish, he has to punish. But a Brahmana, he's in the mode of goodness. He can't punish him. He will say, "I will forgive you." Is that okay? Not acceptable, right? So you can't, because your swabhava is in the mode of goodness. You can't be a king who is in the mode of passion. Okay, so that's what Krishna is saying, because you are doing your duty in the mode of goodness, so that will only suit you. You may think that that will be better for me, but that is not your swabhava. So you should do occupation whatever suits your swabhava. Okay, so one's occupational duties are already prescribed by the Lord. One should not imitate another's duty, working according to his own nature. So no work is abominable if performed in the service of the Supreme Lord. So any work is not like, so no work is like, you should not say that, oh, this is a very heinous work or a waste work, something like that. No, any work that you do, if it is done as an offering to Krishna, that is the highest service to Krishna. Okay, that is the best work. Okay, so occupational duty of a Brahmana, see, is in the mode of goodness. But if he is not by nature in the mode of goodness, he should not imitate the occupational duty of a Brahmana. Okay, see, for example, here they're saying, if the generally Brahmana is in the mode of goodness, so what is his swabhava? He has to preach Krishna consciousness. But if he is not by, but if his nature is not in the mode of goodness, maybe his mode is in the mode of passion, then he should not imitate the occupational duty of a Brahmana, because he's not in the mode of goodness. Because he's in the mode of passion, he should accept an occupation that suits his swabhava or nature. He should no longer try to pretend like a Brahmana, because he doesn't have those qualities of a Brahmana. Okay, so a Brahmana by birth, if attracted to the kind of work done by Shudras, should not artificially claim to be a Brahmana. See here, he is a Brahmana. Suppose he's born in a family of a Brahmana and he doesn't have Brahmana qualities and he has Shudra qualities. So he's no longer a Brahmana. Though he is by birth a Brahmana, he's not a Brahmana because he has the qualities of a Shudra. Though born in a family of a Brahmana, he is a Shudra. He is considered a Shudra because he has qualities of a Shudra. He is no longer a Brahmana. Okay? A Kshatriya or administrator has to do many morally unapprovable acts. He has to exhibit violent nature and kill his enemies and speak lies in diplomacy. As related to political affairs, he should not give them up to behave like a Brahmana. See, now a king has to be very, very political, right? He sometimes has to lie and he has to sometimes be violent. All those things he has to do. He has to do some morally unapprovable acts. Okay, all politics are there. We know if any of you have read the complete Mahabharata, you will see all politics in the world are there, which are coming now are from Mahabharata. Okay, so as related to political affairs, he should not give them up to behave like a Brahmana. Now, a king should not think, oh, I'm doing so many unmoral acts. I'm being so violent. I'm killing so many enemies. I have to speak lies. See that Brahmana, he's so peaceful. He never lies. He's always honest. He's not violent in nature. He's peaceful. And if he tries to become a Brahmana, that is not possible for him because he's a Kshatriya, he's in the mode of passion. How will mode of passion, how can he be transformed into the mode of goodness? Right? So that's why Krishna is saying that is not possible. Even though it may look attractive that the Brahmana, for a king, that Brahmana is looking peaceful, he does not lie, so nice his life is, he does not, have to punish anybody, kill anybody. No, he does not speak lies, he does not do any unmoral activities. But still, that is his swabhava. As a king, he has to do that. Though it may appear the qualities of Brahmana may look good to him, but because he is in the mode of passion, he cannot switch to mode of goodness. Okay, so that's what they're saying. The Lord is satisfied when one behaves as per his duty. So we should do the duty that we are put in. Then only Krishna is happy. Just do it as an offering to Krishna, then Krishna is happy. Arjuna, being a Kshatriya, did not need to be afraid of the guilt of sinning or degradation. He was fighting in his Swadharma for the sake of Krishna. So even here, Krishna, Arjuna is a Kshatriya. So he need not worry that he's doing something sinful. Because as a Kshatriya, his Swabhava is to fight, is to establish Dharma. Right? And if he works, and Krishna is asking him to fight. So we have to do all our activities to please Krishna, right? Give the results of our work to Krishna. So there is no sin, no question of sin at all. So Arjuna can happily fight actually, right? There will be no sin because Krishna himself is asking him to fight. Example, businessman, necessity of telling lies to make profit, yet stating he has no profit. Factually, he cannot survive without a profit margin. See, example, if there is a businessman, obviously he has to lie, right, when making a profit. So when a customer comes, what does he say? Ma'am, for you, I'm just giving you just at the market price I'm giving. See, I'm not even taking any profit. Actually, that is lie, right? Who will not make profit? Who will give the original price? No, right? He still makes profit, but that is lying. He lies to satisfy the customer. Okay, so factually he cannot survive without without lying, without making a profit, he can't live. So it means we understand that he's lying, right? Even then, even here in business, if you have to lie, you have to do your business. He should not give up his profession with reluctance to speak lies to emulate a Brahmana, because a Brahmana doesn't lie. So you should not try to imitate a Brahmana. The Brahmana is so good, he's so honest, he never lies. No. Your swabhava is you have to do business. For that, maybe sometimes you have to lie. You can't imitate a Brahmana. Okay? So all a Kshatriya, Vaishya and a Shudra should serve the Supreme Lord by their work. Okay, so whatever profession you are doing as a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Shudra, do your occupational duty, but do it to please Krishna. Okay, Brahmanas too sometimes have to sacrifice animals as a ritual while performing certain sacrifices. See, we see in yagnas, right? Sometimes they sacrifice animals, old animals, cows that sacrificed, right? So generally, why they are sacrificed? So that they will get a human birth in the next janma, right? So that's why these animals are sacrificed in the yagna, but not for sense gratification, for eating meat or something. Okay, all should work for the purpose of yagna purusha, Vishnu, the supreme lord. So whatever work, occupational duty we are doing, we should do it to satisfy Krishna or Vishnu. So anything done for personal sense gratification is a cause of bondage. So if anything in this material world, we do it for our satisfaction, that is a cause of bondage in this material world. But if we do it to please Krishna, it becomes a karma. Okay, you get liberated from this material world. One should execute one's prescribed occupational duty as it is a natural as it is as natural as flying is to a bird or swimming is to a fish. So we should do our prescribed occupational duty. How similar to, see how natural it is for a bird to fly and how natural is it for a fish to swim. So like that, we should do whatever is our prescribed duty. Okay, we should not try to do someone else's other's duty, though it may look attractive, though we may be perfect in that, or we may be perfect in our occupational duty. Whatever be the reason, we have to do our duty, right? Our duty in the sense because we are in that particular mode, right? We can't switch from our mode to some other mode. Maybe like Brahmana is in the mode of goodness. He can't do something which is in the mode of passion or ignorance, right? So he has to stick to his profession and be in the mode of goodness. Can be done involuntarily, engaging the consciousness in devotion. Abandoning one's duty, enamored by others' duty, is struggle. Performing swadharma is rid of sinful reactions. On the contrary, not performing one's prescribed duty incurs sin. See, in fact, they are saying if you do your swadharma, you will have no sinful reactions. Like Arjuna is thinking, right, if I fight, I will get sin. But Krishna is saying, if you don't fight, you will get sin. See, on the contrary, not performing one's prescribed duty incurs sin. So if you don't do, as a Kshatriya, your dharma, your swabhava is to fight. If you don't fight, then you'll get sin, Krishna is telling. This is because one is going against one's inherent propensity. So what is the propensity of a Kshatriya is to fight. But if you don't fight, you're going against your swabhava, right? So Arjuna as a Kshatriya was bestowed with the capabilities required to fight in battle. Okay, so he was confronted with the necessity to fight for morality and justice. So Arjuna also, he's fighting for dharma. He's not fighting for getting the throne or for sense gratification, something like that. He is fighting a dharmic battle, war. Right, for dharma he is fighting. And that too on the orders of Krishna. To please Krishna he is fighting. So there is no question of sin over there. If he forsook his duty and turned his path towards forest to do penance, he would be condemned as an escapist, would be suppressing his innate nature of chivalrousness. Okay, so if he would have, suppose for instance, suppressed his, not fought, and he would have gone to the forest to do penance, he would be condemned as an escapist. First of all, they will think he's an escapist, and he would be suppressing his innate nature of chivalrous. See, what is the quality of a Kshatriya? That heroism, that what do you say? His blood is always boiling. See, for instance, if he's staying in the forest and he has to live by begging. Now, because he's a Kshatriya, he's in the mode of passion. If he should go from house to house begging. And it's some grihasthas may give, some grihasthas may not give him something to eat. And they may scold him also, in fact. So then, as a Kshatriya, he may get angry. And then he may take out his knife. Right? Because he's not a true Brahmana, right? He's not in the mode of goodness to just forgive them and just go away. So he's in the mode of passion. So he will take out his knife. So because it is not his swabhava, he is not, it's not correct for him to go to the forest and live by begging. That's what, because his swabhava is like, he's like passionate, right? He can't suppress that chivalrousness. Okay, so best option for him is, that's why he should fight valiantly and surrender the effects of his action to the Supreme Lord. On advancing in spirituality, Swadharma changes, no longer confined to body alone. See, once you do a specific, what do you say, your specific duties per your Swadharma, like when you advance spiritually, as you start practicing Krishna consciousness, you know, you understand that you're no longer, you're not the body, you're the soul. So it becomes the dharma of the soul, which is devotion to God. So at this stage, one is justified in giving up occupational duties. So at this stage, when you identify yourself as soul, and then you know what is your swabhava, jivera swarupa hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. You understand that as the duty of the soul is to serve Krishna. So that point you can give up all your occupational duties and totally dedicate your life for Krishna. So he may wholeheartedly engage in devotion, as that is now his swadharma. So he can give up. See, when we are in that material platform, we have to do our specific duties and give the result to Krishna. But as we advance spiritually, once we understand we are not this body, we are the soul, then we can stop our whatever specific duties that we do, and then we can totally give our life to Krishna. Like how our Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada had given up their whole life for Krishna, right? So like that, totally they can dedicate their life for Krishna, wholeheartedly engage in devotion, as that is now his Swadharma. So for people so situated, Krishna gives the final verdict at the end of the Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. So give up all varieties of dharmas and simply surrender to me. So he's telling, no, don't worry about all these dharmas, karma yoga, gnana yoga, this yoga, that yoga. You forget about all those. Forget about all your duties. He's saying, give up all dharmas and just simply surrender unto me. Just give your life to me. Krishna is saying, don't bother about do this, then you will get this, do this, then you'll get that, this dharma, that dharma. Forget about all that he's saying and simply surrender unto me. Okay? And in Srimad Bhagavatam also it is said that we must keep doing our prescribed occupational duties as long as the taste for devotion through hearing, chanting and meditating on the leelas of God has not developed. Okay? So as long we should do our occupational duties until we get a taste for devotion. Okay, until we develop love of Krishna. But as soon as we have developed all the taste for chanting or hearing, meditating, we are able to enjoy the leelas of the God, we have developed love of God, then we can stop all our occupation duties and totally dedicate our life to Krishna. 48. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api na tyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumenagnir ivavritaha. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. Okay, so as Krishna earlier says, right, even though whatever occupation that you're doing, maybe it is full of faults, but still you do that. Krishna is telling you still continue. That's okay, because it is your swabhava, right? Like how fire is covered by smoke. Similarly, maybe whatever you are doing, your occupation duty also has some faults, but still you still do that because your swabhava is, is that in that particular mode. So you have to continue that occupational duty. Okay, see, let's see. In conditioned life, all work is contaminated by the material modes of nature. Okay, say any work in the material world, it is dependent on these three modes. Either it is in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Okay. So beside the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and a Vaishya, as a Sudra serving a bad master has to carry out even the wrong order of the master. See, a Shudra will not say that, see, the master is asking him to do something wrong. The Shudra, he will not be in a position to say, oh, master, you are telling me to do something wrong. No, right? He has to follow the orders of the master, even if he's saying something wrong. So he has to follow. He has no option, right? So despite all problems, one should carry out his duties, for they are born out of his own nature. So even though they are faults, we still have to continue doing our occupational duty. Okay, despite all problems, one should carry out his duties, for they are born out of his own nature. One should not give up his natural occupation because of unpleasantness. Example, all the fire is pure, still there is smoke. Smoke does not make the fire impure. If one gives up his duty, accepting another's, there is no assurance that their other's duty is free from problems. See, if you think that the occupational duty that you are doing is full of faults, and for example, if you take some other kind of duty, there is no guarantee that that duty is free from any problems, right? From outside, every other duty looks very nice, but once we get into that, only we understand how many problems are there. So there's no guarantee that the other duty that you want to take is free from problems. So one should serve the Supreme Lord through his prescribed duty with determination. Okay, all the defects in the particular occupation are purified. That is perfection. Okay, so whatever duty you're doing, just do it as an offering to Krishna. Then all the defects in that particular occupation, whether you're lying or whatever you're doing, unmoral acts or whatever you're doing, will get purified. So that is perfection. So performing devotional service in this state is self-realization. Can I take some more or should I stop here? Can I take 49 to 55 or should I stop, Prabhuji? What do you say? I'm not able to hear you, Prabhuji. I think you're on mute.
Yes, Mataji, I was saying, I think we should do till 55.
You're sure, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, fine, Prabhuji. You're feeling better now. I mean, can we continue till 55?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So, it will hardly take another 5-10 minutes, Prabhuji. It will be over. Huh? So, please, don't worry. So 18.49. Asakta buddhihi sarvatra chitatma vigata spruhaha naishkarnya siddhim paramam sanyasenadi gacchati. One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. Okay, so what are they saying? One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by the practice of renunciation the highest stage of freedom. So here what are they basically trying to say is, you don't, renunciation means not leaving the work, your responsibilities, duties and going into the forest. So renunciation, basically true renunciation means you do your work but you give the result to Krishna. So that is real renunciation. So you are not accepting whatever work you are doing it to please Krishna. You're not attached to the results of work. You're giving the results to please Krishna. So if you do your work in that way, when you please Krishna, that is the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. So you will not get any reaction. It becomes akarma. Okay. So the same thing is being said here, okay? See, from Karma Yoga to Gnana Yoga. So who can engage in Gnana Yoga? So one who is self-controlled and completely unattached can engage in Gnana Yoga. So we know how Gnanis are, right? So they have to control their senses. They are self-controlled. They're unattached. They basically detach themselves from the world. They come to the forest. They control their senses. They have to sit straight and they have to all those they do, right? So what will happen if they do all that? One can attain the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. Okay. Okay. So here basically they're telling the difference between a Gnana Yogi and a Bhakta Yogi. Bhakta, okay, basically. So Bhakta and a sannyasi. A sannyasi is also rid of his past activities because he leaves everything, he meditates on the impersonal Brahman. Okay, so he also get rid of all his sinful activities. A Krishna conscious person also gets rid of sinful by staying at home, performing his work, but he gives his results to please Krishna. So it becomes a karma. So he is not renouncing anything. He is doing his work, but he's giving the results to Krishna. So even he is getting freed of all his sinful activities because there's no karma for him. Because he's giving all his results to Krishna. So that's they're just trying to tell the difference. So this is a Gnana Yogi. We've read in the previous chapter, right? What is the life of a Gnana Yogi? Right? He has to come. He does. What he renounces work. Leaves everything. Gets. He leaves his family members. He doesn't perform any occupational duties, and then he renounces everything. Comes to the forest. He controls his senses. He reads books, and he gains knowledge. He understands that he is not the body; he's the soul, and then he meditates on the impersonal Brahman, and he tries to merge. So we know all that, right? Like that. And then finally he merges into the impersonal Brahman and gets that ultimate happiness. 18.50 Siddhim Prapto Yata Brahmas. So here they are telling all about Gnana Yogi and finally how from Gnana Yogi to Bhakti Yogi, how he becomes. Okay. First we'll be seeing about Gnana Yogi, how he attains liberation by merging into that impersonal Brahman. Siddhim Prapto Yata Brahma Tatapnoti Nibodha me Samasenaiva Kaunteya Nishta Gnanasya Yapara. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. So here in this shloka they're saying, how can one attain Brahman platform? Okay, and what is the Brahman platform? It is a supreme perfectional stage, the stage of highest knowledge. Okay, so Lord Krishna, he's saying in the next shloka, he will tell you, see from 51 to 53, he will tell, he's going to summarize how one can achieve supreme perfectional stage, that is the Brahman stage. Okay, so let's see. So 51 to 53. Okay, so person elevated to self-realization is purified by his intelligence, controlling the mind with determination. So what all a Gnana Yogi does so that he gets that Brahman happiness. Okay, he has to control, by force he has to control his senses. He says, no, I should not see that. I know I should not eat this. I should not look at that. I should not talk to ladies. I should not see this. I should not hear this. So forced sense restriction. They have to control their senses. They control their mind with determination and giving up the objects of sense gratification by force. Okay, is in the mode of goodness. Okay, all this is difficult. See, artificially by force they have to give. But it is, in a way, it is good. But when they're giving up all this, they are in the mode of goodness. Why? Because when you do all this by force, by however it is, but they are able to control the mind. They are able to control the senses, even by force, But whatever be the method, they are able to control the mind, keep the mind steady, and control the senses. So that is why it is in the mode of goodness. So he is free from attachment and hatred. So once they control their senses and everything, so they come to a stage where they see attachment and hatred. I mean, like they see everything on the same plane. So he's free from attachment and hatred in his activities. He lives in a secluded place, eats little. See, these are the things they follow, rules and regulations. He eats little, controls his body, mind, and power of speech. He's free from false ego, strength, pride, lust, anger, material things, and proprietorship, as not in the bodily concept of life. See, after reading all these books, he understands that he's not the body, he's the soul. Okay, so he understands about that. So this is the stage of self-realization of Brahman, called the Brahma Bhuta stage, when one is free from the material conception of life. See, basically these jnanis, they want to escape from the painful material life. So that is their main aim. They don't, for them, concept of God is not there. That loving relationship is not there. The only thing is they want to get liberated from this material world. Okay, that is their main aim. Because they know in this material world there is a lot of pain. They're undergoing a lot of pain, problems, distress. So much problem is there. So somehow they want to get out from this material world. That is their main intention. Okay, so when one is free from the material conception of life, see, when they are free from this material conception of life, he becomes peaceful and cannot be agitated. That is their main aim. They want to get freed from this material conception of life and become peaceful. Okay, that is their main aim. Nothing to do with the devotional service, nothing to do with God, nothing at all. Okay, so he just wants to be peaceful, away from the material conception of life. So this is described in Bhagavad Gita. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enters like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Okay, so a person, see, here they're saying that a person, see, a desire, when you have a desire, it should try to be stopped. See, desires keep on coming. So how should we control a desire? Like if you see, for example, there's a tortoise. See, the tortoise, if it sees that an enemy is attacking him, what does it do? It pulls its limbs inward, right? Immediately, and it becomes like as if it's some stone or something. So like that, when we also try to get the desires, we should also try to control our senses by taking them inward. So we should not give in to those desires. So here they are comparing, see, a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires. So desires will keep coming. The eyes want to see something, the tongue wants to eat, the nose wants to taste something, the ears want to hear something. So the desires will be there. They'll be flowing like rivers that enter like rivers into the ocean. So there will be so many desires that will be entering into the ocean, which is ever being filled. See, the ocean, the rivers enter the ocean, but does the ocean become full or something? It is always still peaceful, right? When even the rivers keep on coming and merging into the ocean, it is still and peaceful, right? So like that, we can achieve peace when we don't satisfy those desires. But if we keep on satisfying the desires, the more you satisfy the desire, the more you'll have desires. It's like you're adding fuel to fire. What will happen? The fire will increase more. So you have to stop the desire. The desire itself you have to stop. The more you encourage the desire, the more you feel like doing, the more. But the moment you stop it, you can achieve peace. See, that's what they're saying. See, can alone, whoever stops the incessant flow of desires can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So generally, many people think if I have a desire to eat gulab jamun, I mean, I'm just giving an example. We think that, okay, if I eat that gulab jamun, I will not, that desire will go away. So let me eat it. Right? So it's better that what they are saying is don't give in to the desire. Just stop it. Okay, if you always, now you'll have gulab jamun. Again, after 2 days, again you'll feel like having. So the desire will keep on increasing. The more you satisfy that desire, the more it will increase. But you may be thinking that if I eat, that desire will go. No, it will again come after 2 days. Again, after 2 days, you'll feel like having gulab jamun again. So that's why we have to stop the desire. That is the only way we can achieve peace. We have to just stop it. Okay. So this is the way how they can achieve Brahmabhuta platform and peacefulness. Okay. So same thing what we have read. Okay. 18.54 Brahmabhuta prasannatma na shochati na kamshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Okay, the Brahmabhuta stage here, they're talking about oneness with the absolute. Okay, so without being one with the supreme, the absolute, one cannot render service to him. So here, this means what? Without being one with the supreme means don't think that he will merge and become one with supreme. Not, and they're not telling about that here. So it means to serve God, we must be spiritual like him. Okay, so if we are completely different, like only a material body, we can't connect with Krishna, right? Okay, so here being one does not mean you become one with God. So it means that we are one in quality with Krishna, but in quantity we are different. Okay, so we are spiritual beings, part of Krishna. Why? Because we are spiritual in nature. That's why we can serve him. See, we are all part and parcels of Krishna. So we have the same spiritual nature like Krishna. It means we are also, Krishna is Satchidananda Swarupa. We are also Satchidananda. But the only difference is he is 100% Satchidananda. We are like maybe 1% or 2% we are Satchidananda. Right? We have the same qualities as Krishna, but quantity wise, Krishna is more. He is Vibhu, we are Anu, small. So here that is what it means. So without being one with the Supreme means we should have same spiritual qualities. Then only we can render service unto him. See, if we have this material body, how can we serve Krishna? Not possible, right? So we should also become spiritual so that we can serve Krishna spiritually. Okay, and in the absolute conception, there is no difference between the servant and the servitor. And here, see, in the material world, if you see, there is a difference between the master and the servant, right? That status difference is there. But in the spiritual world, there is no difference between the master and the servant. Both are on the same level. And that's why we see in many instances, Krishna tries to serve the devotee. Many times he tries to serve the devotee, right? So both are on the equal plane. The master and the servant in the spiritual world are on the same plane. Distinction is there in a higher spiritual sense. Okay, the Brahmabhuta is just like a river cleansed of all dirty water. So this Brahmabhuta means what? See, earlier we were dirty. We were like dirty water. Now in the Brahmabhuta stage is like we are a river cleansed of all the dirty water. Now it's all that dirt is removed. We are now just a clean river in the Brahmabhuta stage. Okay, so no sense gratification, no misery, no lamentation, no desires. So in the Brahmabhuta stage, everything, see, now have this knowledge that they are the soul. right? So they don't, they are out of the bodily concept. So that's why they don't have no sense gratification. Okay, no sense gratification and no misery, because they know that they're the soul. The problems, the misery comes only if we think we are the body. And that's why no lamentation, no desires. Right? What is the swabhava of the soul? Soul has only one desire, right? To serve Krishna. Right? So they know that. So that's why they don't lament. There's no misery, no sense gratification, nothing. So automatically, control senses are like a serpent with broken teeth. There is no fear from them. So they're saying like how if for a serpent, if you remove that fangs, that broken teeth which bites us and through which the poison grows, if you remove that teeth, we have no fear seeing that serpent. Right? So like that, similarly, here they are saying in the Brahmabhuta stage, now they are purified. There's no problem at all. Like they have no sense gratification, no misery, no lamentation, no desires. Okay, like the snake. So they are always in pure devotional service. As God is full, who is full. So now here we are talking about what both we are comparing. Like, see, impersonal Brahmajyoti, we are talking about Gnani and a Bhakta. Okay, so let's see the comparison. Is always in pure devotional service. As God is full, he too is full. As a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna. He is naturally always joyful. See, a devotee has no other aims. He doesn't want any sense gratification, nothing. His main goal is to please Krishna. And by serving Krishna, he always feels happy. So knows every living entity is a fragmented part of the Supreme Lord, hence eternal servitor. So he knows his swabhava as a soul, Jiva Swarupa Hoy, Krishna Nityadas. So knows higher and lower positions are ephemeral. So what does this mean? So a spiritually advanced person, he understands that high and low in the material world is temporary. High and low means what? Rich or poor, famous or unfamous, a leader or servant. All these are just based on the material platform. So all these positions change with time. So today someone may be powerful. Tomorrow they may lose everything. See, it is like when we're doing a drama, one actor plays a king and another plays a beggar. So after the play ends, both are just people again, right? So like that, a wise person, he does not become proud in a high position and he does not feel broken in a low position because he understands both are temporary. So only the soul and its relationship with Krishna are permanent. Okay. And next, the highest personality in this material universe is no more significant than an ant for a devotee. See, the highest personality in this material universe is who? Brahma. So for them, Brahma or even that small ant, they are both on the same plane because in both soul is there, right? Even though Brahma may be the topmost personality in the material world, but even then, in him, I mean, like outwardly, bodies of Brahma, but internally, he's a soul, right? Even the ant may be small, it too has a soul. Okay, so he sees them on the platform of soul. So it doesn't make any difference for him. And for him, stone and gold are of same value. The entire world is good as Vaikuntha or the spiritual sky. So such a stage can be achieved by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So when I mean like once you come to that Brahmabhuta stage, they see everybody on the same platform, equal value for them. Stone and gold are the same value. Okay, so everything they see on a platform of soul, not on the platform of body. Okay, so that is the Brahmabhuta platform. So last shloka 18.55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschashmi tatpatah tato mam tatpato gnatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. and when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Okay. Lord Krishna. So in simple terms, what is he saying? Like, we can understand Krishna only through devotional service. Okay, and not by meditating like the Jnanis or Ashtanga yogis, where there is no relationship with Krishna at all. They just sit there meditating. But only in devotional service or Krishna consciousness, that give and take is there. I mean, that not give and take, like you're serving Krishna. Like, how does a mother show her love towards the child? By cooking something for him, or by doing something for him, right? By doing some work. That is how we express our love. So similarly, a bhakta also expresses his love to Krishna by doing devotional service. Okay, so the best way is by doing devotional service to Krishna. That is the highest. So we have three stages of realizing God, right? First is impersonal Brahma Jyoti, then localized Paramatma, and third is Bhagavan. So that is the highest. Bhagavan, identifying Krishna as Bhagavan. Okay, and then when we serve him directly, we can enter into the kingdom of God. Okay, so the same thing. So here that's what they are saying here. Just giving the difference between impersonal Brahman and Bhagavan. So impersonal Brahman means what? They try to lose their individual. They think that they lose their individuality, but actually they don't lose their individuality. It's like this. They say that when a green parrot enters into a green tree, because it has entered the green tree and we can't see the parrot because the parrot is green and the tree is green, does it mean that it has become one with the tree? No, right? It maintains its separate individuality. Even though everything appears green from far, it does not mean it has merged into the tree. It will maintain its individuality, right? So, like that, though the Gnanis think, I mean, like they think that they merge into the impersonal Brahman and they lose their individuality, but in actuality, they don't lose their individuality. But they think they lose. But the devotees, they don't want to lose their individuality. So even before liberation and after liberation also, they want to continue they want to maintain their individuality, and they want to continue their service to Lord Krishna. Okay, and the example is given of how the impersonalists, they give this example that they want to they think that they become one. How? By like the rivers, they merge into the ocean and they become one. So now the rivers, once they merge into the ocean, you can't make out which river is in the ocean, which is there. It becomes the ocean. All the rivulets combine and you can't make out anything. Now it's become the ocean. So that's how they compare the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. When they merge, they become, they lose their individuality. That is the example they give. But what do the devotees give? The devotees, they give a deeper example. See, they'll be in the deep ocean, you will see aquatics, you will see fish, right? The fish maintain their individuality in the ocean. They don't merge into this thing. In the deep, you will see they'll maintain their individuality. So like that, they want to maintain their individuality and serve Krishna. Okay, so that is what they give. Yeah, pretty much that much. That is the thing. And how's one the devotional service becomes after achieving Brahmabhuta stage by hearing from the Lord? What is the effect of hearing? Brahmabhuta stage develops in material contamination decreases. One can understand the Supreme Lord. What is the eligibility to enter Lord's abode? One who is fully conversant with the signs of Krishna. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so we'll stop here. And please, devotees, let me know, like if you have any doubts, we can just take them up.